What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again, coming at you with another Summoners War video. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I just got done watching day one of the SWC America's Cup preliminaries, featuring 8 fantastic players that went ahead and duked it out to try to get themselves 2 spots for that America's Cups that are going to be coming up later in October here. I believe it's October 24th here. But either way, guys, if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, I will leave a link in the description down below for both the YouTube and Twitch for Contours that recently showcased the stream. But if you don't have 2.5 hours to watch it all, I definitely want to go and share with you 2 of my favorite matches that went down this morning here. And I don't want to drop any names to spoil anything, whatnot, but let me just say they were some crazy turn of events. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this clip. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.
And so it'll be very interesting to see how both of them approach it. Now, actually, what's going to tell me the most is what Faint Memory decides to pre-ban, because Thompson has a lot of LD Nat 5, some Artemil, Nephthys, Han, Celia, Gianna. You can think about the most busted monsters in the game, and Thompson has half of them. So which ones does Faint Memory decide to take out is going to tell you about the pace of the battle that he wants to fight.
Exactly. So pre-bans, guys, are going out. We could be seeing anything getting pre-banned by Faint Memory. But ultimately, we're going to see what Thompson does not want to see on the other side of the field, and it's not going to be an LD Nat 5 in the form of Hathor. Hathor is getting pre-banned by Thompson.
And Faint Memory makes sense taking out that Gianna. Gianna, one of the strongest units in the game. Thompson's being incredibly well ruined, and of course Thompson taking out Hathor because he doesn't really want to play against a unit that has so much volatility and control in the matchup.
Exactly. So I think this first pick from Thompson, oh, that's definitely not going to be Thompson's first pick. That's a shout out to a couple of his friends, everybody who has a Manananan themselves out there, that it's out here in SWC. But Thompson's going to be taking a unit away from Faint Memory, and it is going to be the Ciara.
And so Faint Memory does not have a Manananan of himself or an LD Nat 5 to flash back. Thompson with the Ciara first pick, generally not very conventional, and is very weak to Daphnis, which Faint Memory might be taking later. We know he has a great one here. Ciara is stronger with artifacts, so it's an alright first pick, but it does open himself up to a lot of things that Faint Memory can throw his way in terms of Beast Riders, Daphnises, and other fast units.
Yep, so Thompson with that CR first pick. Faint Memory with the Fran and Ganymede. Not a bad start for both these two. You really can't decide who's got the better one yet. And here we go, Thompson bringing in Barbara Daphnis.
I really like this from Thompson. Very aggressive draft here. Thompson, usually you would expect some sort of CC control here, but at the same time, this is damage straight to the face here. Barbara and Daphnis are going to be very fast. Either can threaten kills off the bat, and then Ciara with a lot of bombs. So Faint Memory needs to respond with some sort of damage. And again, you see that Vanessa because he knows he needs a speed lead to be able to contest with these units, so that when he locks in his last pick, he's not gridlocked.
Ooh, and we see a Leica coming out of Faint Memory. I'm surprised to see a Leica being drafted by him.
I am very surprised as well. This tells me his preliminary ban is going to be on the Barbara here, if he's going to be doing that, because Barbara does take care of Leica very well. But at the same time, Leica only takes about 30% per hit, right, on his passive. So Leica, I know Faint Memory likes to run very aggressive units. This is going to be a very hard-hitting Leica.
Yep, it is. Thompson looking at a Vigor right now. And I was going to say, there's no way we're not going to see an LD Nat 5 coming out of him. He brings in the Nephthys.
So Thompson is telling us that he's likely going to be taking out the Fran, and Faint Memory responding with a Blution. What we call a Blution is a blue Lucian. It does bombs, and this is a newly buffed Water Joker.
This is an exciting first match between Thompson and Faint Memory. Bans are going out, and Thompson doesn't want to see that surprise unit. If he catches him off guard, it's probably going to get banned.
Thompson not wanting to deal with the Sion here, but we're going to see Daphnis go on to this Vanessa. We'll see if Faint Memory's Vanessa survives this Daphnis, and that's going to tell us a lot.
That is right, and here we go, guys. We've got round 1 with Faint Memory and Thompson. Let's get into it.
That's a very fast Daphnis. Moves in front of the Ganymede, which I know is very fast. He's going to open with Hellfire on the Vanessa.
Yep, Hellfire is coming out onto Vanessa with a defense break, not finishing off that Vanessa. That is a very tanky Vanessa.
Super tanky Vanessa, and Faint Memory is able to get immunity up from the Fran here. So if he's able to stabilize, he's going to be in a good spot. Leica's going to take out Daphnis next, by the way, as well.
Yep, you can see the Ventilate going back onto Fran. Want to make sure that he has his immunity and attack buffs up to protect him from that Curse of the Beautiful that is currently sitting on top of this Nephthys.
And I know that this Vigor's rune on CD, so we're likely going to see a trade Daphnis for a for a Vigor here. Vigor chooses not to skill 3 on the Vanessa. Very weird choice.
Ooh, but Ciara able to pummel in a little bit of damage on top of that defense broken Vanessa. Vanessa able to shake the defense break, gaining an additional turn here. Big Justice coming out of the attack buffed Leica, aiming up for Ciara and dropping Ciara with a Justice.
Huge move there, and actually great choice by Faint Memory not to take the Daphnis out because skill 3 is already blown. Does trade that Vanessa at the end of the day here, but that's giant damage from the Leica.
It is huge damage coming from that Leica. I think the next unit of focus might be Vigor going after this Leica. Leica able to heal itself up.
Yeah, and we're going to see here that Vigor is going to need to do damage on this Leica. It's going to depend on how much HP this Leica is going to get back.
And Fran looking to sustain that Leica, get a nice heal going on here.
Yeah, and we see here that
choosing to go for the attack break onto the Daphnis instead.
Yeah, and again, this is I kind of like Faint Memory's side here. If Thompson is not able to string together enough damage, this could be tough to come back from.
And Nephthys with the silent and attack break on top of Ganymede gets the additional turn as well with a little bit of poke damage coming towards this Leica. Is that going to be enough damage to finish off Leica? Not by any means. Massive first skill damage on top of Daphnis.
That's a lot of damage coming out onto that Daphnis, and that Leica again is at full health here.
Yep, and there you have it. Fate and Memory taking a controlling lead in this first match.
And this Leica just needs to down Nephthys next because Ganny and Fran take care of Vigor. So once Faint Memory downs the Nephthys, he will be up 0-1.
Yep, that is correct. You see a skill 2 coming out of Vigor, trying to get a little bit of anti-crit sustain going on here. Going to see a first skill silence happening on top of this Ganymede. It's just not going to be enough.
Definitely not going to be enough, and he's also got a glancing on him, so he's not going to be even do enough damage to this Leica here. This Vigor really has not done much the entire game.
It really has, and going for a third skill gets the additional turn as well. I don't know, it is not going to be enough to drop this Leica. Nice additional turn coming from Fran.
Yeah, even with the proc from the Vigor does not do enough to take out that Leica. That Leica with that skill 2 is going to pop the Nephthys, and it's going to be over.
Ooh, Ganymede with a little bit of poke damage on that Vigor gets the additional turn as well for the reset on top of Vigor as well. Dumping attack bars onto that Nephthys. Massive Justice damage comes out, finishes off that Vigor just like that.
Just like that, that Vigor goes down. Thompson's got 1 unit to 3. It is over. Thompson should be taking his time as the seasoned veteran to take his time and figure out what he should do the next match.
And Thompson does. He does this in every SWC. You see him take all the time that he can. He really likes to drown that bar out. Didn't do it that time, but he really likes to take his time to go into the next match. Fate Memory taking round 1 away from Thompson.
What a match there. I think the key there was Vanessa being so tanky that not only did it survive that Hellfire, but was able to survive Hellfire and a couple of shots afterwards.
Well, another key unit was Leica. Leica with massive Justice damage. Even on that first turn, choosing not to just obliterate a Daphnis, but to obliterate another unit.
All right, well, we'll see how Thompson adjusts. We know that Faint Memory cannot pre-ban the Gianna, so that's something Thompson will have. And I actually anticipate in this matchup, Faint Memory is going to go for a more speedy lineup here because Thompson's Gianna is well known to be unviolent, and that's generally how it gets exploited. Thompson knows that too and does have speed units in the back pocket. We'll see how this tug of war works.
Yep, there's Daphnis getting pre-banned by Thompson. Nephthys getting pre-banned by Fran.
Very smart pre-bans by Faint Memory. I think Nephthys and Gianna are the 2 units that are scary from Thompson's side because Thompson does use a lot of AoE strip. Thompson taking out Daphnis knowing that Faint Memory has invested a lot of runes in it and it is very threatening in the draft.
Yep, there you go. Faint Memory with the first pick of the Hathor. Obviously splitting these units. You don't want to see them on one side. So Hathor getting drafted by Faint Memory. We're probably going to be seeing a Ganymede being drafted by Thompson.
I think it's going to be a Sierra Ganymede. Thompson really likes that Sierra Gianna combo. We saw him first pick a Sierra last time. And he can't let Faint Memory take that Ganny Hathor combo. So it's going to be a Sierra Ganny, and we're going to see Faint Memory probably respond with some sort of... Oh, interesting.
Ooh, very interesting. I like seeing the change here. So the Ganny Chiwu coming out for Thompson. Faint Memory very quick to snag that Ciara away from him.
Yeah, and I know Faint Memory has a very good Sierra here, so Sierra, and I know his Sierras do a lot of damage on his skill 1, so Faint Memory is bringing a lot of damage. I like the aggression with the Barber here. He has the ability to go with an Okeanos and another speed lead later, so I think that she was a little premature from Thompson going into a Hathor in a tournament here.
It could be. Maybe even that Barber was wanted to be drafted by the Thompson as well. Let's see how he responds after seeing Ciara Barbara, and we're looking at a light Monkey King Gianna.
Interesting choice. We know from watching Thompson's stream, this is generally a very fast Light Monkey, but we know Faint Memory has a lot of wheel runes, so I'm not sure about the Light Monkey. Gianna makes a lot of sense. It's good in pretty much every situation. Faint Memory wastes no time with the Wind Mermaid and the Friend.
Yep, Cichlid Fran coming out of Faint Memory. I love seeing these new units. I think the buff to Cichlid was absolutely amazing. Great third skill, and I'm looking forward to see it work out for him.
This to me signals likely a Chi-Wu pre-ban or ban here, but Thompson recognizes this and takes the Vanessa because Faint Memory wants to outspeed because that Cichlid is usually on Swift. So in this situation here, Faint Memory is likely going to be outsped, so he's not going to take out either speed lead. He's looking to take out probably the Ganny, or either Ganny or one of the two units in the middle. And that's likely the situation here. Or if he trusts the speed, if his Barbara Swift, he can also take out the Chi-Wu.
And there you have it. So Light Monkey King is going to get banned on Thompson's side of the field. Ciara is getting banned on Faint Memory's side of the field. Very exciting match. Great drafts by both these two. Speed lead for Thompson. Resistance lead for Faint Memory. Here we go, guys. We're getting into round 2 with Faint Memory Thompson. Can Faint Memory 2-0 Thompson?
I think the draft favors Thompson a little bit, but we'll see. It depends on the speeds here.
Well, here we go. Chi-Wu with a third skill, going for a strip attack bar pushback, and does receive it as well. Ganymede looking for the reset and attack bar dump.
He's going to need to reset the Hathor. There's no choice about that. Does not resist any attack bar dumps. Gianna's going to drop a bomb, and then Vanessa's going to do a lot of damage, but at the same time, Faint Memory has a lot of heals and has a great turn 2 comp.
And bomb does land on top of the Fran, psyching a little bit of attack bar with that first skill. Vanessa possibly looking for a defense break to capitalize on top of that Fran as well. And we do see it in the additional turn as well to pummel more damage into this Fran.
That's a giant proc because that means that Thompson's going to have enough damage to kill the Fran before it throws immunity up. Without that proc, it might have been very different. So while Faint Memory had a better turn 2 draft, that proc changed everything.
Yep, Thompson was able to capitalize off that defense break, removing it from the field. And we see Ganymede's going to be up here looking for a glancing on top of Barbara and receives it. We may be seeing a third skill coming out of Cichlid.
I mean, that's also a big glancing because his Barbara's not going to be able to pump out as much damage here.
Ooh, does land the cooldowns as well, and that defense break on the fire unit, Vanessa.
But again, is not able to crit on that Vanessa because of that glancing. I think Faint Memory's in a lot of trouble here. Another bomb goes up on the Barbara, and that Barbara, there's no healing on Faint Memory's side.
And that's right, with the change of Beast Riders, that bomb does stun. It's going to be stunned inside its regular form off of the Rider, off the Beast.
Yeah, that Beast Rider's not going to be doing much more damage this game. This looks pretty done. Once that Vanessa got that proc and that Fran was unable to help him stabilize, that was pretty much over.
Yep, there's the Ventilate back onto Vanessa. It's a knife safe play that needed to happen from Thompson, and we're going to see some strip damage coming out from Faint Memory. Doesn't drop the Vanessa just yet. Hathor looking for that poke damage and drops out that Vanessa.
Yeah, and at this point, Faint Memory does need to resist.
Huge bomb resist on top of Barbara. Looking for the strip stun on Barbara and receives it. First skill to knock it off the Beast.
And we do see that proc from that Gianna, so bombs are up again. And then that Barbara is stunned. It's going to need a proc to be able to do damage. But I really like Thompson's side here. He's got more damage from the Ganymede. And so he's in advantage here.
Yep, he definitely is. He's able to get that glancing back on the Barbara, so that unit's not going to be doing enough damage. And we see a bomb does land on top of Hathor. Gets the additional turn as well. Does not finish off the Barbara just yet. Sweet Dreams coming out and putting that Ganymede to sleep.
Yeah, and again, Faint Memory's down 2 units to 3 here, and Thompson's side is all on full health here. Cichlid is on Swift, so it might not be able to do enough here.
Yep, there's that third skill. Does get that reset defense break on top of Gianna. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but he has to be able to take advantage of that defense break. And we see the bomb does detonate. Hathor does stay alive, and that is going to be it. Faint Memory concedes. Thompson takes round 2.
What a match there. I thought actually, looking at it for a moment, I thought Faint Memory had the better turn 2-ish team. Once that Fran stabilizes, Faint Memory's going to tee off. But unfortunately for Faint Memory, fortunately for Thompson, that Fran got procced on by Vanessa, and that was enough damage to push it down to 0 and out of the game.
That was definitely the turn tides right there, is when that Fran was able to drop so quick in that match. Thompson, victor, round 2. We're going into a game 3 with an extremely exciting match. Thompson, Faint Memory.
And we're going to see the same pre-ban from Faint Memory. He's going to take out that Gianna early. We're going to see if Thompson adjusts. We know in match 1 he took Sierra first, and I think that was a little bit of a liability. But we'll see if he sticks to that game plan.
Yep, there's the Daphnis and the Nephthys getting pre-banned from the last match. I think we're going to see a similar ban to that first match going into this one here.
Yep, does take out that Hathor. Faint Memory does take out that Gianna. So we'll see if Thompson decides to favor the Sierra again, or if Thompson's going to decide that perhaps a Ganymede works a little bit better here.
Yep, first pick for Thompson. Does he choose to steal a unit away from Faint Memory? Goes with that CR pick.
Sierra's fine as well. I mean, Fate Memory has a very good Sierra, chose not to go after Ganymede and actually took the Fran and Daphnis, which makes a lot of sense because Ganymede does not do anything into those two units if they're on will.
Yep, Fate Memory, Fran, Daphnis, Thompson looking to respond.
And I would be very surprised not to see a Barbara laid down. I think Barbara's a pick here. I would like to see an Okeanos, but I know that Thompson does not like Okeanos.
You called it. There's the Barbara. There is the Chiwu. Great combination. We see it a lot together. Fate Memory responding with a speed lead, Vanessa.
And if I'm Fate Memory, I see two speed leads from my opponent's side here. I'm looking to A, threaten the speed, B, looking out to take out that middle unit, that Barbara. And potentially draft for a second turn 2 team here. Fate Memory responding with the speed lead and Citrullid, so the speed of this draft is still up in the air.
Yep, I love seeing Cichlid back, and not back in SWC, but in SWC. This is the first time we've seen a Cichlid being drafted since the buff.
I mean, this is a 4-star Wind Mermaid. We have never really seen one here, so very exciting to see that. Thompson responding with the Vertihile Vigor.
Yep, Vertihile Vigor. It's a very fast team coming from Thompson. A lot of attack bars going to be gained if that Vertihile does make it through. Fate Mem looking to respond with this last pick, showing a Beast Rider himself. He drafts in a Savannah.
Yeah, interesting choice here with Thompson go with the Vigor, already knowing that Citrus on the field. Citrus pretty good against Vigor, so generally you don't want to take a unit where you already have a stronger unit on your opponent's side into it. Fate Memory responding with the Savannah, telling us that once he gets this, he might not even need to ban this Chiwu. Once that Savannah goes online, it's going to be a lot of damage.
Well, this is an extremely important match. They really had to think about their bans, and there you have it. Chiwu getting banned on Thompson's side of the field. Vanessa getting banned on Fate Memory's side of the field. Speed leads for both teams, but it looks like Thompson's got the quicker lead. We're going into round 3 with Fate Memory Thompson to wrap up our semifinals. Here we go, guys.
And Citrullid takes first turn. We know it's a very fast Citrullid, so it's going to be able to get onto the Barbara.
But no defense break.
No defense break, but I think that's okay because he has Savannah next. So Barbara can't really do very much at the moment.
Yep, just a little bit of poke damage going down to Daphnis. Daphnis missing the defense break strip onto the Ciara. Ciara's still going to remain on the field.
That's a giant miss because if he was able to eliminate Sierra, that's one less unit to deal with, and we know Sierra's very well wounded from Thompson.
Ooh, Predator's Cry coming out, healing up that Ciara, getting the anti-crit speed buff out there, looking for a defense break onto that Daphnis, and does receive it.
I mean, that's a very big turn of events. Not only does he buff his team with speed buff, also procs into skill 3. Highly lucky by Thompson here.
Yep, does plant the bomb, detonates that bomb right away onto the Daphnis, removing that unit from the field, putting Fate Memory at a 1-unit deficit.
Interesting choice to get rid of the Daphnis. I would have thought about the Citrullid just because Daphnis has already blown skill 3. Either way, though, taking out a unit is always okay.
Yep, Fran buffing up, getting sustained, getting those attack buffs on his team, looking to pummel in some massive damage, possibly onto Ciara. No, goes right for that Barbara.
Yeah, at this point here, Fate Memory just needs to take out that Barbara, take out the ability to strip because he does not want to be stripped later and open up a hole for that Sierra to go on.
Yep, that's right. Thompson trying to remove this Savannah from the field, trying to get it off of that beast as soon as possible.
Yeah, but all these units are going to move in front of Savannah here. So Savannah's going to turn into that, get off the Beast Rider. It's not going to be able to use skill 3 soon, and that's why he had to use Air Shield. But again, that's
ooh, he's able to break the shield with the Barbara, gets the additional turn, knocks that Savannah right off the beast, and we're going to see a skill 2 coming out for Thompson to get his speed buffs up and a little bit of sustain.
Yeah, at this point here, Thompson just autos it down. The artifacts add a lot of damage onto Vertihile and Ciara, so this is pretty much it for Fate Memory on this one.
It really is. It's heavily favoring Thompson right now. Does land that bomb. Fran's able to cleanse that thing up. Fate Memory needs anything he can get his hands on to. More additional turns is what Fate Memory is asking for right now. More additional turns.
I don't know if Fate Memory could even win if all of a sudden every unit could proc.
And there it is. Fate Memory's going to concede. Thompson is going to be taking round 3 and moving forward in the semifinals.
With the pre-ban, I think Thompson's going to take out that Tian Lang just because that is a very strong monster that Thompson doesn't have and doesn't want to play against.
Nope, there's the Tian Lang getting pre-banned by Thompson. Nephthys getting pre-banned by Heaves.
Interesting choice to take that Nephthys out, knowing that he's probably going to need to rely on immunity here. And takes out the Nephthys. I would have thought I would see a Gianna pre-ban first because Gianna's generally more oppressive, but doesn't matter here. Either or, these are going to be alternating pre-bans. Thompson is probably going to take a Sierra first, flashing the Banana Nan for fun, but might be as Hathor as well.
He's flashing that Banana Nan, showing that hello to his fellow friends who also have that Banana Nan as well. It's his connection to some of those buddies out there. Hathor getting first pick from Thompson. Heaves flashing some LD Nat 5s to his fellow Isis and Kraka users.
I know, and all of them flashing generally what we call useless LD Nat 5s. that are not very strong, not very present in the meta. Friendly flash of LD Nat 5, just a friendly game here. Thompson lays down some more serious monsters that are more powerful here, takes that Sierra and the Gianna.
Yep, so there's the Sierra, there's the Gianna. We've seen this combination with Hathor before. Thompson drafts this a bunch. Heaves with his first picks there with the Chiwu into the Ganny, and he's going to be responding to Sierra, Gianna, possibly with a Tetra. Maybe Thompson already sees this coming.
Yeah, and at the same time, I actually really do like that Gianna pick here at this spot here because that strip threatens a lot of high speed. Sierra is a speed lead. Heaves going with what we see on the ladder a lot, that Okeanos, that Savannah, and we're going to see Thompson needs to be able to address this right now because that's a lot of threat coming at a high speed.
Yep, here Thompson's going to be wrapping up his draft. He's got 2 more picks after seeing an Okeanos and a Savannah. Now, we're not seeing a Tetra or any form of, like, sustain or immunity. We might be seeing a ban on maybe Gianna, possibly the CR, but Thompson's going to take advantage of that.
Thompson needs a second speed lead. Kind of goes for a pseudo speed lead here. We know that Light Monkey King is very fast. He's trying to catch Heaves off will on his speed units. So that's Thompson's plan here. We'll see what Heaves decides to do, but I actually think Heaves needs a second speed lead to be able to compete with Thompson if he wants to carry through with the strategy.
Yeah, Thompson's showing a lot of threat right now where Heaves cannot protect him from Hathor, can't protect him through Ciara, can't protect through Gianna, can't protect him through this Light Monkey King. Can Heaves draft this last unit? Going to be Juno? I've seen this before. I don't know if Juno is going to be enough to survive with all that oppressive units that Thompson has.
Yeah, but again, Heaves understands here that he's going to go for a second pick team here. He's likely going to let through Light Monkey and Fran and Hathor probably. Or takes out the Hathor, but Light Monkey and Fran are through. We're going to see a turn 2 comp, but Thompson has double bomb off the bat.
That's right. So speed lead for Thompson, accuracy lead for Heaves. Here we go, guys. We got our first match between Thompson and Heaves. Mally versus Malicious. Malicious versus Say Swag again. We have our first round. Here we go, guys.
And Heaves does not believe in runes at all. It's going to get punished. This is exactly what Thompson builds for. He's going to get punished. Did not do his homework clearly.
Can't believe Heaves didn't bring any immunity into this comp here. Might have been smart with the Gianna, but that Light Monkey King really took advantage of it here. And Fran's going to be buffing up with immunity and attack buffs for Thompson's side of the field.
And I think Thompson here still needs to decide what he wants to take out. Likely going to go after Savannah here, take this unit out, and then disrupt the Ganny Oki combo. But Heaves, no will runes off the bat, does not deserve this win.
And there it is. Bomb does get planted on Savannah. Savannah's in a lot of trouble right now. He could double bomb, or he might place it somewhere else. He puts it right onto that sleeping Ganymede.
And look at these auto attacks doing so much damage. 1,600, 2,300. That's a lot of damage that this Savannah's taken without even being bombed yet.
And there it is. Bomb still sits on top of Savannah. He doesn't even have to play with this unit anymore. It's got no attack bar. It's got nothing.
I mean, he doesn't even need to play the game anymore at this point. It's over. That's how far gone it is right now. Heaves is basically stunned up, bombed up. There's more bombs coming on the way. It's a lot of firepower, and I think Heaves should basically just quit out soon.
And here we go. Thompson poking away at this Juno. Juno not receiving the attack buff, which he needs to sustain a little bit. Doesn't get it. Bomb does get planted on the sleeping Okeanos as well. Thompson just really putting Heaves on the back foot. Massive damage coming from that bomb on top of Ganymede. Probably going to see a little bit of poke damage, maybe even a stun onto that Ganymede with the first kill. Goes for all or nothing, hoping for a stun. Gets that stun onto Juno and Ganymede.
He should lay another bomb down. We don't see that bomb land, but at the same time, he's got a detonate button that basically finishes this match. Doesn't even need it at this point.
Yep, chooses not to do it. Goes with the first skill onto Savannah. Juno looking for a despair stun on anybody, receives that stun onto the Light Monkey King. Gianna cycling a little bit of attack bar, hitting that Ganymede. Ganymede looking really low right now. And Thompson going for the cleanse onto that Light Monkey King.
Yeah, at the same time, this Savannah's gone here. That Ganny Oki lockdown is not going to come. That Ganny did not proc. Looks very, very difficult for Heaves here.
Yep, that is correct. Bomb is going out onto the Ganymede, not looking good. There's no way Juno can solo there, and Thompson is going to be taking round 1 away from Heaves.
What a Light Monkey. That Light Monkey rushing in front of Heaves' entire lineup. And again, Heaves, I don't know what happened to the Will Runes, if they were not farmed, if they were forgotten on the units, but they weren't there. And that was basically it. Right?
I think Thompson did his homework on that one. He had that Light Monkey prepared. Heaves came in fully unwilled. There's just nothing you could say about it. Thompson had the match from the beginning.
All right, so in this situation here, Thompson does not have the ability to pre-ban the Tian Lang. So we'll see what he decides to pre-ban. We know Heaves is going to pre-ban the Gianna. He absolutely should pre-ban that unit, but we'll see. We also know that Thompson may not want to fight, you know, a Hathor, may not want, there we go, a Hathor. So Hathor and Gianna pre-bans makes a lot of sense here, and knowing that Heaves has first pick, and he's a Savannah Chiwu user, I think Ganny is usually the first pick that comes out of such a lineup.
Yep, that's right. Well, we have Heaves taking the first pick in this round. I mean, how many more units are off Will? Hopefully he has some units on Will this time around. Heaves going with a Fran first pick.
We've seen a lot of Frans over Ganny first picks, which is quite interesting here. But again, knowing that there's no Gianna from Thompson's side, Fran becomes a lot better. I would be very surprised not to see a Sierra coming out from Thompson at the very least, and I would think it's probably Sierra Ganny responding to this. Sierra being very good as an auto attacker, Barbara being very aggressive actually. Also a good pick because it's very difficult to punish a Barber.
Yep, that's right. Sierra Barber coming in for Thompson. Heaves is going to have to respond after seeing those two units. We get the Ganny, we get the Vanessa.
We have to threaten speed here because Thompson has laid down his own speed, and Barber's also a high-speed unit, so you can't ever give up the speed battle this early on here. Thompson needs to think about if he wants to continue the speed battle, how should he do it? Is it going to be with a Triton? Is it going to be with a Okeanos, or is he going to go slower? Maybe a Juno here, or maybe something else that's a fun unit.
Yep, well, Thompson's got to respond soon. Vanessa Ganny being drafted. Thompson bringing in 2 more units. He's got Ada and Daphnis.
Not sure about that Artemel, knowing that Tian Lang exists on the board. So Tian Lang is almost a force ban. You know that this Artemel will not be banned this match here. So I really am unsure about this Artemel pick. Do like that Tian Lang pick, and then that Vigor is also a very standard pick, gives defense break and also heals the team.
And Tian Lang, Vigor wrapping up Heaves' draft. One more pick is going to say a lot to what Thompson's actually banning.
At this point here, Thompson doesn't really have a lot of heals here and doesn't really have immunity to protect himself from any defense breaks, any other stuns coming up from Tian Lang potentially. So goes aggressive here with the Nephthys. So that signals to me a Fran ban, actually.
Extremely aggressive, bringing in the Nephthys. I'm curious, once again, does he have the will runes? But there you have it. Fran is going to be banned out. Nephthys is going to be banned out again. Speed leads for both teams. I would imagine we would see this Barber taken first turn.
Like Thompson's draft, once that Daphnis takes out Vanessa, this will be in Thompson's hands.
Yep, well, here we go, guys. We've got round 2. Heaves. We have Thompson as well. Let's go. And Daphnis taking first turn in front of the Barber. That's a very fast Daphnis. But once again, there's only 1 unit on Will. Does not get the strip defense break on top of the Vanessa. How much damage are we going to see? Not a ton of damage, but there is just a little bit of sustain on Heaves' side of the field.
That is a giant miss, but at the same time, if he strips Sierra, can land a bomb and then finish the job on this Vanessa.
Well, Tian Lang's got a lot of work to put in here, only receiving 1 stun on top of Ada.
Yeah, and again, this Ganymede does have skill 3, but Sierra has will, so Sierra's going to be able to drop the bomb on Vanessa and make this a 3-4.
Yep, there you have it. Goes for the reset onto the Barbara. Dumps attack bar. Sierra's still going to be up here. Heaves healing up with that second skill coming from Bigger. Bomb does plant on the Vanessa. Does he choose to detonate it off? And he does. It does not finish off the Vanessa. Gets the additional turn. Finishes off the Vanessa now.
What a huge proc. That proc allowed Thompson to finish off that Vanessa. Otherwise, Heaves was going to stabilize. So that's a huge proc. At the same time, there is a defense break on this Sierra.
And a despair stun coming from that Tian Lang as well. Trying to capitalize on that. Getting additional turns. Trying to pummel this Sierra out of this match, and Tian Lang does it with that second skill.
I actually think Heaves is in a really good spot here. This Artemel is going to feed this Tian Lang over and over, and defense break is going to do a lot of work. Heaves needs to kill this Barbara. First decides to go for the glancing, but needs to take out this Barbara.
Yep, does another defense break despair stun coming from Tian Lang onto the Daphnis, and we see that sustain coming out from Heaves with that Vigor skill 2.
Yeah, so Heaves actually playing
patiently. Another despair defense break from Tian Lang onto Ada this time.
Yeah, and he's, with the defense breaks, so many defense breaks, taking out this Arda. This Arda really hasn't done very much this game at all.
No, Ada may have been the mispick. Like you said, you weren't happy about seeing it before. Finally, a despair stun coming Thompson's way on top of Tian Lang. Ganymede dumping the attack bars as well.
Yeah, at this point here, Thompson again, we know he likes to take his time, likes to think about the match here, regather himself here. It's going to be 1-1 soon, but you still have one more game.
Yep, Heaves taking full control in this match, totally doing away with Thompson's units right now. Tian Lang getting all these despair stunts throughout this match, and Heaves is taking round 2 away from Thompson.
What a game there. I really did not like that Armel pick because it didn't bring much to the table, and you knew Heaves had a Tianlang in the back pocket. It's not pre-banned, it's out in the table. So
Tianlang was extremely impactful throughout that entire match. Plenty of despair stuns, plenty of defense breaks, super impressive, gaining so much attack power due to Ada.
Yeah, and at the same time, Thompson even had that proc early on to auto with that Sarah onto Vanessa. Had he not had that, it would have looked even more one-sided. So I think Thompson just needs to pre-ban the Tianlang, and a lot of problems will be solved here.
Well, we're going into a match 3 with Thompson and Heaves, and I think we are going to see that pre-ban coming out here.
Yeah, we're going to see a pre-ban Tianlang Nephthys very much like Game 1. The only question is, what can Heaves do to pivot, because he lost that Game 1 pretty convincingly.
Yep, well, here we go. Last round's pre-bans. Hathor, Gianna. This round's pre-bans, exactly what we thought. Tianlang getting pre-banned, and Nephthys getting pre-banned by Heaves.
We know that Thompson has first pick, and in the first game, he did take Hathor. We know in Fate Memories match, he took Sierra. He favors the Hathor here. Notice the difference between the two. So he's going to take the Hathor here. He's likely going to respond with the Ganny Fran.
And there it is. So Hathor for Thompson, Ganny Fran for Heaves. Well caught, well caught.
And Thompson here is likely going to lay Gianna, Sierra Gianna. Gianna's not pre-banned. And when you also have that Fran on the table, Gianna becomes much better.
I think Heaves should honestly be prepared right now. He should have known this is coming. The Hathor, the Gianna, the Ciara, just like that. And we should be seeing some units coming out that do counter this.
And Heaves lays down the Josephine, which means that Hathor is likely going to be led through, or a Gianna at some point. And lays down the Vanessa, so he has a speed lead to be able to still kind of compete with Thompson on speed.
Yeah, bans are definitely coming out on either the Hathor or Ciara. Vigor being drafted by Thompson, and taking that away from Heaves.
And I think a Barber would also be a great pick here. Vigor gives him a lot more sustainability over time and allows him to play to his rune advantage. A Vigor Barber could allow him to checkmate Heaves on draft now.
Ooh, we're going to see a brand new unit. The newly buffed Han coming in, hopefully going to be looking real strong.
I mean, Han is a recently buffed LD Nat 5 that can basically defense break and kill a target on the spot. Heaves responding with that Triana here, but at the same time, there's a lot of multi-hitters on Thompson's side. I think actually a ban on the Vanessa removes defense break and also puts Thompson in a very commanding spot.
It really does. Thompson has a super, super great draft with this Gianna-Han combination. It is very powerful. Heaves looking to survive this onslaught of damage and even control coming from Thompson. Heaves not looking super aggressive.
So Heaves with that Triana is telling us that he's going to pre-ban that Gianna, and at the same time, Thompson taking out that Vanessa, and it's just going to pile damage into a soft, squishy unit and burst right through that Triana passive.
What Heaves has is sustain. That's something Thompson does lack. Thompson has a very aggressive draft. We're going into game 3, guys. Thompson and Heaves, Mally versus SSA. Let's go and wrap up this day. Here we go. Hathor taking first turn.
And again, Heaves, these units do have will runes, so Josephine can't be controlled here, but Ganny can. Thompson should not waste it here. Decides to use skill 2. Interesting choice.
Yep, putting the Fran to sleep. Obviously proccing the passive of that Josephine. Josephine getting the provoke onto the Han.
Yeah, but even though Han's provoked, it's still going to do a lot of damage onto this Josephine here. Thompson's thinking about if he wants to defense break this Josephine because Han's going to do a lot of damage.
That's right. Does go for that defense break onto the Josephine. Josephine with a nice return stunned onto the Han, but a lot of damage that Josephine just received.
And I think Thompson's just going to try to auto this Josephine down. It's going to lay a bomb likely on lays a bomb on the Josephine. Interesting.
Very interesting to see that. I think he's going to be skill willing and hopefully not to get stunned back by this Josephine.
I think so too. I really would have liked to see that Vigor use skill 2 earlier and allow Thompson to come back on the next turn, because now Heaves has some sort of momentum with that Ganny dumping attack bars with skill 3.
Yep, resets the Hathor, dumps attack bars, gets the additional turn as well. We're going to see the cleanse coming up from Triana onto that Josephine. Josephine not in danger anymore.
Yeah, Heaves is actually stabilizing here. Fran does have its skills. It's going to be able to heal the team. Josephine does do a lot of damage. Thompson has not really done much with his skills, but he does have that Vigor, does have healing on his side.
That is correct. So Thompson's going to continue pummeling into the Fran, I do believe. No, chooses his new target, going after the Ganymede, getting additional turns as well, cycling a little bit of attack bar. And I think we may see a Ventilate. No Ventilate, but a Glancing being applied to Han.
He's saving his Ventilate for the Fran, but that's a very unfortunate proc by Ganymede, getting out of immunity, but doesn't matter. There's a Fran with immunity and then a Ventilate onto the Fran next.
Exactly. So Glancing sitting on top of Han right now. Han needed to have that Glancing because if he doesn't crit, he's not going to be able to cycle back.
Yeah, and again, Han when there's immunity on the other side, does not do as much because it's not able to defense break.
But it was still able to cycle. It was still able to crit through that glancing. Damage is getting pummeled into the Fran, trying to remove this Fran from the field. No additional turns coming out of that half the CR.
Not enough damage for that. Ganny has taken enough turns and procced enough that does have skill 3 up again. That's a lot of momentum on Heaves' side. And again, Fran almost at full health.
Yep, that's right. More stuns coming from that Josephine onto the Han, trying to keep that damage at bay.
And again, Thompson needs to find a few procs on this Vigor. That Han is in a lot of trouble. He does need healing to keep it up. He's thinking about which target to go for. Does he want to defense break the Triana for luck or go after the Fran?
Yeah, he went right after that Fran. He's trying to do as much damage as possible. I mean, CR still has that bomb coming up here, and there's only one place to put it.
Yeah, Thompson actually looks like he's in a rough spot because at some point this Han's going to go down soon. Sierra's actually not doing enough damage through its auto attacks.
No, it is not. Fran's going to be sustaining up here, bringing that immunity attack buff back. He gets additional turn and may cleanse here, but Triana has skills up anyways.
Yeah, and he's just playing a game of being able to stabilize here, take out a unit, slowly wear down Thompson's team.
Ooh, and there it is. Josephine, the big skill 2, dropping that Han. Looking very good for Heaves right now.
Heaves looking pretty steady, just needs to take out another unit. However, at the same time, there's a lot of turns that Thompson's going to be able to take. The Sierra needs to whittle down this Fran.
Yep, really does. And there's that first skill coming back onto the Fran, cycling a little bit of attack bar, and the sustain that we talked about with Heaves before. Heaves has that sustain to outlast Thompson. Thompson needs to take advantage of these windows and remove units.
Lots of sustain from Heaves, and Thompson a little unlucky, not getting any procs on Sierra at all. That's a lot of damage that would come from Sierra's auto attacks. There is a skill 3 coming from that Hathor soon.
Yep, there is. Goes for a skill 2. Doesn't sleep the Triana, but does get the strip off. It would have procced the passive of that Josephine.
Yeah, that's a good bit of chip damage going on to the Sierra.
No stun coming from Josephine. More glancing is probably going to be applied. Chooses to apply the glancing to that Hathor. We're going to see a third skill, possibly.
Yeah, and if Vigor doesn't proc here, I actually think Thompson is in a lot of trouble because he does not have healing for this Sierra.
Yeah, went for skill 3, does not gain the additional turn, gets an attack break onto the Sierra. Third skill is going to be happening right now, but it's going to get the shields up because of the passive of Josephine.
Yeah, so Josephine's able to take a turn here, but again, the Sierra is in danger.
Well, the Sierra is very much in danger. He's able to get these additional turns, getting that stun to the Sierra. No provoke is happening onto the Vigor. Vigor needs to go for the skill 2. No additional turns once again is happening. Can he get the attack break onto the Josephine to stop this damage?
The attack break would be huge, does not get it.
And Josephine's going to be stunning up the Hathor, looking so good for Heaves right now. Bomb finally lands on Fran. He needs to detonate this, but he's going to be running risk, possibly stunning. I think he needed to detonate it. He needs to start removing units. Josephine stunning things left and right.
Yeah, with that Triana passive up, very tough to detonate. Thompson needs to find a way to let the Sierra tee off, and now is not the time yet. May go for some autos and pop that Triana passive now. He's calculating the math, doing it in his head here, seeing if he can auto this Fran right now.
And he did. He went for it, but it procced the passive of the Triana. Triana looking to sleep or attack bar pushback on that CR. CR in his unit that needs to get dropped. If the skill 2 does happen, I do believe that Josephine's passive is still up.
So good attack break onto that Josephine here, but again, Ganny with skill 3. It's going to be an attack bar dump. We're going to lose the Fran here, but Sierra's going to be going down.
That's right. A lot of damage coming Sierra's way. Sierra does hold on. It's not enough. We're seeing a third skill sitting on top of this Vigor. Who is he going to put it on? He goes right for Josephine, gets the defense break. Can he get the additional turn? And he does!
Huge procs there. Thompson resisted attack bar reset from the Ganymede, so his team was
and he
able to stay alive.
resists the strip provoke coming from Josephine.
Huge turn of events, highly in favor of Thompson there, able to get the heals onto Sierra, pick up his team, and if the Sierra's able to survive a little bit more.
Passive's not up on Josephine, goes to that sleep onto the Josephine as well. First kill coming from Vigor. Can Heaves still outlast Thompson, or is it going to be enough?
Well, Thompson needs to keep the Sierra up here. Sierra's hasn't done enough damage. He's just going to be autoing that Sierra down.
Yep, there's the Ventilate going back onto Triana, getting that passive up, making sure that stays, having that cleanse, having that... there it is. Josephine dropped the CR, and not looking good for Thompson. Thompson just needed a little bit more. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Goes for a shred. Does not get the... He does get the defense break at the end. No additional turn coming from Thompson.
But passive is back up on that Triana. It was ventilated. Thompson does not have a multi-hit here, so actually I think this is very much in favor of Heaves at the moment.
This is very much in favor of Heaves right now. Hathor needs to do all that it can. No additional turns. Does a sustain even matter for the Vigor? We do not know just yet. Another oppressive stun coming from this Josephine with the strip provoke back onto the Vigor. It is not going to be enough. Ganny getting the reset onto the Hathor. Hathor has no cooldowns whatsoever. Trying for an attack break onto the Ganymede. It is not going to be enough. There's no sustain to save this Vigor. And that is going to be it. Heaves is going to be taking this round away from Thompson, putting Thompson into the loser bracket.
Wow, we did not expect this. Han was not able to do very much this match. And again, Thompson's taking his time thinking about it, reflecting on the match.
And there you have it. Heaves has taken round 3 away from Thompson.